The AP pool has just dropped their top 25. I'm sure you've seen it. I've seen it. If you haven't seen it, it's up on the screen right now. Let's go ahead and talk about their poll before I give y'all my poll, because y'all know they don't never get this shit right. First off, they got Ohio State. I'm cool with, you know what I'm saying? They actually haven't proven that they deserve it, but they're the defending national champion. So until someone comes and takes that spot from them, they can have that spot. That part, don't have a problem with. Miami has finally moved up into number two. Honestly, best resume in the country, should have been number two, but at least they corrected their wrongs now. They got that one right. Number three, we go Penn State. Then we got LSU, Georgia, Oregon, Oklahoma, Florida State, blase, blase. Don't care about none of that. I'm finna go ahead and give y'all my top 25 because that shit is all fucking bullshit. And if you aren't familiar with who I am, I go by JR, one fourth of the Lock the Garage podcast. We talk college football, we talk NFL every Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time. If you haven't already, drop a follow and let's go ahead and get into these rankings. Number one, starting off, I have Ohio State. I know they don't have the most impressive resume in the country, but they are the defending national champions. And so for that, they get to be number one until somebody else comes and take that number one spot from them. Number two, I have Miami, arguably the best resume in the country. Carson Beck, I gotta take my hat off for him because I've been a big Carson Beck hater in my heyday. But right now in Miami, boy is balling. Can't even take it from Miami, two spot. Number three, Oregon, looking like the most dominant team in the country. Dante Moore should probably be number one on everybody's Heisman ballot. I know John Mateer is getting a lot of love right now, and we'll get into John Mateer in a second, but in my opinion, Dante Moore, best thing smoking in college football right now. Going on to number four, I got Florida State. I mean, it's easy to see what they've done. They put that thing on Bama, my boys. Hurts me to say it, but they put that thing on Bama, and that's probably, arguably, the best win in college football right now. So, guys, to shout out Florida State for holding down that fourth spot for sure, for sure. And then moving right on into that, then we have Georgia, second best win in the country, in my opinion. Went to Tennessee, got that win. You could say that they probably shouldn't have won that game. I mean, Tennessee had plenty of chances to close it out, but they didn't, and Georgia still found a way to win. Kirby Smart defense still looking good. Got Gunnar Stockton again, somebody that I wasn't too high on, but hey, he did the thing against Tennessee. So we'll see. Long season ahead, but so far I think that's the top five, and I don't think there's much argument about that. Now, getting outside that top five, now that's where things start getting interesting, right? So first off, I got Indiana. Just a super, super impressive win, man. Against Illinois, just absolutely dog walked them. I can't even lie. Like that's what you expect to see from, Indiana playing Southern Harmon Institute of Technology. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a 63-10, crazy. They was pretty good last year, you know what I'm saying? Maybe above average, not quite elite, but new quarterback for those got them boys rolling. Of course, with Indiana's schedule, they don't necessarily play the toughest schedule ever, but as of right now, it looks pretty good, and I'm down with rocking with them. Indiana, super impressive victory. Hats off to y'all. Next up, we got Ole Miss. Again, Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, offense is going to be at a premium. The reason why I have Ole Miss jumping up 8 spots in my own poll is because of the fact that now they're down to their backup quarterback. And I know Chambliss isn't your typical backup quarterback, right? Like he just came from either Division 2 or Division 3. I'm not sure actually, but he came from a lower rank and he still stepped up again, playing against Tulane. You know, some people's group of five playoff pick, and he balled out. And I think that that's just a testament as to how well that Lane Kiffin offense runs. Like it's a very quarterback friendly league. Who knows if he'll be a great NFL prospect? We ain't talking about that right now. We talking about college football. And Chambers, damn good college football quarterback for sure. After Ole Miss, we got LSU, and I mean, obviously, we all know that like LSU's most impressive win to date is the win over Clemson. But Clemson is now 1-3 now, so now we starting to think about man, maybe Clemson ain't really that good of a team. Offensively, they've had some struggle fest offensively. Defensively, they kind of rocking. They picked off DJ Lagway 5 times a week or two ago. And you know what I'm saying? Defensively, they look solid. But offensively, if your defense gives you 5 picks, you should be able to score more than 20 points. But they didn't do that. A lot of hype around Gary Nussmeier and that offense coming into this season. It's a little disappointing, but it's early in the season. I mean, we just now going into week 5. They got plenty of time to turn it around. But for right now, LSU, they dropped 2 spots from last week's poll. They're down to number 8. Next up, we got Penn State. Again, another highly ranked team coming into the season, but you just ain't showed us nothing yet. Drew Aller, a lot of people were looking for you to make the leap, man. A lot of people were looking at you to make that jump and really solidify the fact that James Franklin is a good coach. You know, there's a lot of talk about big game James and he can't win the big ones and yada yada yada. Same thing was said about Ryan Day before last year. But at the same time, though, Drew Aller, we are looking at you. You need to make some plays. You ain't made those plays yet, and you'll have a great opportunity. You got a great opportunity. You got a great opportunity. You got Oregon coming into Happy Valley for a whiteout game. Drew Aller, you have the opportunity to elevate y'all. Y'all could easily get into the top 3, top 2 for real, if y'all pull this off. But you got to pull it off first, Drew Allen. I ain't seen it yet, so therefore you drop a little bit. And then rounding out my top 10, got Texas Tech. They was tied with Utah in my last poll at the 11th spot. But shout out Texas Tech, man. Hey, did not know. I was not familiar with your game, man. That defense. Oh my God. I know the offense kind of ran away with it in the fourth quarter and all of that stuff. But man, that defense, hey, that's elite. Hey, Big 12 front runners right now, man. So shouts out to Texas Tech, most definitely. Moving on. Now see this is where things start getting interesting now, man. We finna get into this number 11. Man, I got Vanderbilt. Honestly, as far as just a team goes, I don't see many better teams, man. I know that they don't necessarily have the star power. I mean, obviously we could talk about Diego Pavia, but if we all gonna be real about it, Diego Pavia is not playing on Sundays. And name me one other player from that team right now. That's what the fuck I thought. You can't name another player from that team, man. But as far as just being a team in college football, bro, man, got to give shouts out to Vanderbilt. And once again, as a Bama fan, I am not looking forward to playing them in 2 weeks, but it is what it is, goddamn. At least we got them at home. But shouts out to Vanderbilt. And then moving on to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, they dropped 2 spots in my polls from last week simply because of the fact that that Clemson win is not holding up. I think Haynes King is a dog, but just their play style and the way that they run Haynes King, I don't think he's gonna make it into November healthy, bro. Like he already had to sit out a game because of the wear and tear. I've said it before. His career wear and tear is so far in the red. I just don't know how they're gonna hold up. But As of right now, September 21st, shouts out to them, top 12 team in the country, in my opinion. And then Oklahoma. This one I'm gonna get some flack for. This one I'm gonna get some flack for, and I already know it. But I actually dropped Oklahoma 5 spots from last week to this week after they just won the game. After they just won their SEC opener, played Auburn. I mean, they won the game. But man, if you watch that game, bro, you know just like I know, them refs had some questionable calls at best. And at worst, it looked like Oklahoma paid off the refs. Like I ain't gonna lie, it's tough. From that first should have been fumble return for a touchdown for Auburn to the receiver faking like he going off the field to scoring a touchdown to Cam Coleman getting tackled while he going up for a catch. Like it was so many questionable calls in that game, man. And I know a lot of people that game might not affect my tears Heisman chances, but to me that game affected his chances a lot. Like he was the front runner, but now not so sure, man. I can't rock with them. So for that reason, though, I got Oklahoma dropping 5 spots this weekend because, in my opinion, they should have lost that game just straight up. Then we got USF. Not much to report on USF this week. I know they just got blew out against Miami. Is what it is. But I've been a big USF fan. I still think that they're good. They played South Carolina State. Shouts out to the HBCUs. But you know what I'm saying? They did what they were supposed to do against them. I think that game was like 6-3-17. I don't know. I actually stopped watching it. I was watching the first half, but I stopped watching it because USL was running away with it. I do want to say that Byron Brown's D ball did look a little bit better this week, so that's why I'm still kind of high on them. But yeah, man. Shouts out to USL. That American Conference, guaranteed that American Conference is giving us the group of five playoff representative, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But shouts out to USL. And then moving on to Texas A&M, they did technically drop 2 spots in my polls, but that really didn't have anything to do with Texas A&M as much as it did with just everybody else who played. Like I said, we got Indiana balling out, we got Ole Miss balling out, Texas Tech balling out. Like had to move them up. Texas A&M, they just didn't play anybody this week, so that's why they dropped. But I like Texas A&M. Mike Elko, hell of a coach. I like him for sure. Now moving on to this next one, Ms. Zoo. Now I like Ms. Zoo. I ain't gonna lie. Since like what was that, week 2, week 3, when they played Kansas, and I really seen that boy Amar Hardy get off, and I really seen what Bo Prabula could do. I still don't know if I pronounced his last name. My apologies if I'm not pronouncing your last name correctly. But Prabula and Ahmad Hardy, low key, might be the best backfield in college football. And we ain't even add in the other running back. Again, my apologies. I'm sorry. I think you're a great running back, but like fucking Ahmad Hardy is the running back in college football to me today. But like, yeah, shouts out to Mizzou. The only thing that's gonna hold Mizzou back, and I'll tell you this right now, is that their defense can't stop a nosebleed. That's what's going to be their downfall. Is not that Brabula can't get the ball to his receivers. It's not that Amar Hardy is really going to be shut down against any one opponent. It's the fact that their goddamn defense can't stop a nosebleed, and that sucks. But it is what it is. So, but still, for right now, again, this week I got Mizzou right there at that 16 spot. And then going into Auburn, again, as a Bama fan, I know I'm going to get some flack for this, but like I said earlier, Auburn should have won that game against Oklahoma. If they had competent refs, Auburn would have beaten Oklahoma. But I'm not going to blame it all on the refs, man, because you got to look at Jackson Arnold missed Cam Coleman several times. Several times. Truth be told, that game should have been Auburn 21, Oklahoma 7 in the first quarter. But Jackson Arnold couldn't connect with them and stuff, man. So they got to figure that out. Now I finally get to talk about my boys, man. And honestly, it's really not too much to say about Bama. I mean, they got shellacked first week against Florida State. We all saw it. Is what it is. They came out the next 2 weeks, really bounced back well. In my opinion, a lot more intensity, a lot more passion. Just fine to the football. Just everybody. Shouts out to Ty Simpson. I didn't think Ty Simpson was that great coming into the season. I was one of the guys calling for Keelan Russell. That's who I wanted to start and stuff. But we can't argue with what he's done over the last 2 games. I think he got like a 90% completion percentage, bunch of touchdowns, no interceptions, no turnovers in general. It just looks good. Like, you know what I'm saying? They look good. But obviously, we got the big test against Georgia. Bama has owned Georgia over the last 10 matchups or so. We'll see how it goes, man. But for right now, I think that Bama is pretty well slotted in that 18 seed. But I know that's gonna make a lot of people mad, particularly Tennessee fans, because yes, I still do have Bama ranked over Tennessee. Yes, I do. Why not? Because you had Georgia pinned down. You should have beat Georgia in your home stadium. You had the opportunities, multiple opportunities to put Georgia away, and you didn't. It's that simple, bro. When you got a team like Georgia, any of the top teams, the playoff teams, the teams that you say that you're supposed to be competing with against for conference championships, national championships, when you have them down and on the ropes, you have to put foot on neck, belt to ass. And Tennessee did it. So for that reason alone, is the reason why I have Tennessee lower. Now, granted, though, I do think that Tennessee actually is going to end up moving higher up on my top 25 as the season progresses. But just right now, today, no, can't do it. And then moving on to Tulane. Tulane, I mean, I'm still super impressed with them once again. Like I talked about USF. I'm gonna talk about Tulane. Um, I think that the once again the group of five playoff representative is going to come from the American Conference. Do think Tulane is really good. I do think that the Duke win was pretty impressive, but y'all just got curb stomped by Ole Miss, so I had to drop y'all down a little bit. I had to drop y'all down 3 spots from last week rankings. Because I needed a little bit more of an offensive performance. I didn't expect y'all to beat Ole Miss, but I would have liked to see a little bit more offense. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more production, a little bit more points scored and things like that. But I still do think Tulane is a good team. And like I said, they got to go through the American Conference. Everything is in front of them. They get USF at home. Should be a good finish in that American Conference. So I ain't gonna speak too much on them right now. But then here we go. So now this is it's a whole lot of mover and groovers in my last five. But let's start with number 21 TCU. Quarterback Hoover, baller. Don't care what you say about him. He's a baller. I don't give a fuck about stats. I don't give a fuck about what I'm saying, none of that shit. I care about motherfuckers at the quarterback position that can win football games. And Hoover, so far, has shown that he can win football games. Defense leaves a lot to be desired, for sure, for sure. But it's the Big 12. Points will be scored. And as long as you got a quarterback in that backfield, taking the snaps, getting the play calls in, as long as your quarterback can put points on the board, I think you're in a good spot in that Big 12. So, shouts out to TCU. Moving on, we got Michigan. Yo, I don't like Michigan. Again, Bama fan. Michigan has been this 2 years in a row. Don't like Michigan. But they got Justin Haynes just transferred from Bama. Again, a lot of reasons for me to not like Michigan right now. But I gotta tell the truth, man. Michigan looks, hey, Bryce Underwood. This might not be the year that like Michigan makes it to the playoffs. Probably won't win a national championship this year. But if they could keep Bryce Underwood, which I mean, you paying him $13 million, I would assume that you can keep him around for a little while. They got Justice Haynes this year. That defense, I mean, hey, that defense rocket. Well, they just got the Raiola thing like 7 times this last game or something. Hey, look, Michigan again cooking, cooking. I ain't gonna say too much about them because I don't really like them. But shouts out to Michigan, whatever, whatever. But somebody that I will talk about a lot is motherfucking Memphis. Yo, Memphis, way to not quit. Way to not quit. I'm sure that y'all probably seen the highlights because you know what I'm saying Memphis beat an SEC team, and I know everybody likes to shit on SEC teams and yada 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 whatever. But Memphis was down at one point in that game. Memphis was trailing 28-10, and when most teams would have folded, when most teams would have tucked their tail, took their ball, and went home, Memphis said, nah, we good. We got it. Let's run it. And what did they do? They ran it. They ran it. That's how they got back in the game. It's crazy. Teams get down 28-10 and they abandon the run. Matter of fact, some teams like Bama have a tie ball game and abandon the run. Memphis did not do that. Now, Memphis quarterback, I ain't really sold on him. I ain't little Fugazi over there, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. But the coaching staff, they kept their team together. They really, they really believed that they could win the game. Felt like that energy went on to the players. And shouts out to Memphis, backup quarterback. 3rd and 8. Your defense just got an amazing stop. Arkansas was driving. They inside the 20. They finna kick a field goal, walk it off, and that's just the game. It's finna be that. But your defense punches out the ball, forces the turnover, get the ball back. Your offense gets the ball. Little time on the like less than 2 minutes on the clock. We need to bleed some clock. Backup quarterback comes in on 3rd and 8. Less than a minute and 30 left on the clock. 3rd and 8. They call a QB power. And the quarterback, the backup quarterback, carries an Arkansas defensive lineman. Buddy got to be every bit of 350. He might be 390. Buddy is not no small guy. He backup quarterback put this 390 man on his back and carries him for 8 yards to get the first down and ice the game. Hey man, shouts out to Memphis, bro. That was truly, truly impressive. And again, another one of those American Conference teams. Yo, look out for the American Conference. They're giving us our Group of 5 playoff. I'm finna go ahead and speed run these last two. USC, Lincoln Riley, their quarterback, I don't know how to pronounce his name yet, but his quarterback balling. Shouts out to him. We'll learn more about USC when they play like Notre Dame or something. I ain't gonna lie, they just kind of got a weak schedule. But for now, y'all don't get that 24 spot. And then again, Iowa State, that top 25, they bringing in that top 25. Um, I'm still confused about Iowa State. I have no idea what to think about Iowa State. I think that they're going to be one of those teams that just plays to their level of competition. If they play fucking Miami, I think they'll give Miami a game. If they play fucking Sam Houston State, I think that that will be a game. Like they just play to the level of their competition. So I don't think Iowa State is going to hang around the top 25 for too much longer. But it is what it is, man. It's just one of those things. So. But that was my top 25, man. If you got a problem with it, I don't really care. But if you want to talk about it, drop some shit in the comments, bro. I'm chronically online. I will reply to your comments. If you say that you got a problem and you got a valid argument, I'll listen. I'll hear you out. But until then, once again, I'm JR from the Lock the Garage podcast, man. We live every Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time. and we live every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time, man. Until then, do me a favor, lock the garage on your way out. Peace.